May I come in, sir?
Please come.
Good afternoon, sir.
Divyanshu.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. Please sit down
Thank you, sir.
and take a minute and tell us about your background.
So my name is Divyanshu Choudhary. I belong to the Jaipur city of Rajasthan. I have done my schooling from St. Anselm's, engineering from BITS Pilani, and MBA from IIM Calcutta. After that, I worked for a year in HSBC Bank also. And since then, I have been preparing for civil services exam. And my hobbies include quizzing, writing Hindi stories, reading biographies, and an interest in the Indian mythology, particularly the Mahabharata.
Mahabharata.
Yes, sir.
Good. Pradeep, do you want to go back to Mahabharata times?
Okay, you are interested in Mahabharata, you read Mahabharata.
Yes, sir.
What you learn from Mahabharata?
Sir, there are certain learnings from Mahabharata that are very useful in our daily lives. The biggest learning is that Mahabharata talks about following the dharma of every human being or living being, irrespective of the situation that he or she is put in. That is the biggest learning. The second learning is that revengeful instinct and greed can lead to one's downfall, which we see in the case of the Duryodhan. Also, we see that the friendship...
Whenever I read Mahabharata and say stories, I have not read in full Mahabharata. I see the commentaries on the Mahabharata and I read about it. I find that many times the injustice was done. And you are talking of the dharma. So dharma was not adopted. How Duryodhan was killed. Okay. Then another side also was adharmi. So was it not fight between two adharmis in respect of two dharmas you are talking about? How the Munukul was killed by those people. So it was adharmi versus adharmi or dharma versus dharma?
Sir, as you rightly mentioned, there were certain areas where we can talk about the fight between adharmi versus adharmi. But the dharma that is being mentioned in the Mahabharata talks about the greater good, which was to be established by the supremacy of the Pandavas who were carrying the good against the Kauravas. So that was the greater dharma which Lord Krishna also talked about in his Gita discourse.
Okay, the biographies you are reading. Whenever I was reading a biography of Hard Choices of Clinton, Hillary Clinton, people are telling and they were commenting, then when somebody writes the autobiography, they don't write the truth. And even the biographies are manipulated. How do you react to it? Generally, they don't carry, the autobiography never carries the truth, they say. Either you read the biography of any film actor or you read the autobiography of great men also. Except Mahatma Gandhi, people say they have written rightly, but many hidden parts they don't come in the, they never brought into the autobiography. So it is not the lie we are reading, and we think we are reading a very good, the autobiographer. How do we react to it?
So
is it a wastage of time?
So with all respect, I would like to disagree at 2 points with you. First is that an autobiography talks about the personal experiences of a person who has faced great difficulties in achieving success, and his journey is to be recounted through, and that are the values that we should gain from autobiographies. And the second is that in terms of biographies, we do see personal interpretations of various writers. For example, in the Mahabharata also we see Chitra Devkurni's Palace of Illusions. She has mentioned a lot about gender discrimination of Draupadi, so that's a personal interpretation that has come out. So I think we should regard that in a positive value and try to cater to that so that it gets removed from the society and we do not have to face such situations in the future.
Okay, let us come to the technology. We are talking, people are talking about the technology, and sometimes we have become hyper technical in many fields. So can you tell me, technology harmful also? It harms too. Instead of giving benefits, it's harm too. Can you explain?
So as you rightly mentioned, technology can be harmful in various ways. For example, if we talk about social media, we see a lot of cyber crimes that are happening. At the same time, issues of fake news and morphed images are also coming out, which destroy the integrity of a person. Similarly, nuclear energy, though it has its positive uses of being a clean fuel, but at the same time, it can also lead to a lot of destruction and wastages. So the thing is that it should be utilized.
We should be away
I'm
from
sorry,
the
sir.
technology. That means if we use the mobile phone, it is very harmful. If long use of the mobile phone is causing cancer also, addiction, many other diseases generate. So we should, in daily life, what is the use of these being hyper technical?
Sir, technology makes our daily lives easier, so we should restrict its use to only the positive aspects rather than going for the negative aspects.
Self-control, okay. Thank you. Sir.
Divyanshu,
Yes, sir.
let's hope that you do very well in this exam, you get into IAS and you also get Rajasthan cadre. After working for a couple of years in the field, now you are posted in the office of the Chief Minister. And the Chief Minister calls you and says, I'm happy with your work, Divyanshu, you're doing very well and you are an expert in management. So I'm giving you a challenging project. He says that we are rich in natural resources, our people are hardworking, education levels are coming up, but we still continue to be a Bimaru state because of lack of industrial development. I want my Rajasthan to be as good as Karnataka or Maharashtra or Gujarat in 5 years' time. What should we do? Give suggestions and how would you implement them over a time span of 5 years?
So may I please take a minute to think over it?
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Sir, first, with all respect, I would like to disagree with one opinion that Rajasthan is a Bimaru state. That tag has been done away with in the recent past.
Okay, leave that. Still, it is one of the backward states.
Yes, sir, definitely. Sir, my first focus would be on the strengths of Rajasthan, which are primarily three: tourism, mineral sector, and renewable energy.
Okay.
And so, in these three sectors,
Tourism,
minerals, and renewable energy.
And renewable energy.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So, renewable energy, the potential is a lot, but we do not see much infrastructure due to geographical terrain and financial
Just
viability.
give specific suggestions, bullet points.
Sir, rooftop solar panel installation, which will lead to better power generation. Incentives like...
It's already done, I believe.
Yes, sir, but the extent needs to be more. Second, incentives to solar panel manufacturers, and at the same time, land should be given more easily to set up solar
Okay, that's
parks.
for the energy. Next.
Yes, sir. For tourism, aggressive marketing, and at the same time, infrastructure building and
fine.
Yes, sir, pollution control. And the third one is the minerals one. In the minerals, we need to develop the infrastructure, particularly in the southern part of Rajasthan, where marble
For
and
extraction of minerals.
sir, supply chain as well, for transportation as well, which is
Transportation
lacking.
also. That's all.
Yes, sir.
Nothing about setting up of industries. Without that, it is very difficult that per capita income will go high.
Sir, as you rightly mentioned, we also need to invite certain infrastructure and investment summits to Rajasthan, and that will help us in setting up industries.
Very good. One more question only, Divyanshu. What are the reasons? Again, be pointed, specific. What are the reasons that India is a high corruption country? That's the perception all over the world outside India and some even within India.
So, few reasons are: first, information asymmetry between the people in power and the local people.
Information
Asymmetry, because of which they are able to exercise excessive control over the resources.
How does it lead to corruption? I didn't understand.
Sir, particularly in the administration, if we have a know-how of, let's say, where a project is going to be constructed and what can be the viable gains. So that is information asymmetry with respect to public. So the tenders can be given to the people who are in power.
Fine.
Second, legal loopholes, because of which the fear of being legalized and incarcerated is very less, and hence corruption rises. Third, lack of technology, particularly CCTVs and digitization, because of which the things are going on at a rapid pace of for corruption.
A lot of digitization has come in the major government departments today, but corruption hasn't gone down. In fact, in last year, corruption perception index, India has still gone down by 4 places in 1 year. So things haven't improved by digitization. Something else.
Sir, grievance redressal and stringent audits can be one of the measures that can be taken for corruption measures.
Okay, I get your point, Divyanshu, but it seems that you have presumed that corruption. From your answer, it seems that you take it as if corruption is only in the government sector. You haven't talked about private corruption at all.
Yes,
I
sir.
personally believe that corruption starts from the private sector because their stakes are higher, they get more benefit in making government corrupt. Isn't it correct? Who is the greater beneficiary, if at all corruption is there? The person who gives, isn't it?
Sir, it is a mix of both the private and the government.
Last half a minute more.
Yes, sir.
If you want to include the private sector corruption, half a minute more, otherwise my question is over.
Sir, stringent laws related to corruption for private sector, and at the same time,
Stringent laws is a remedy here. My question was on reasons, on causes, not on remedies.
sir, one reason is that we do not have transparent contracting mechanisms for public and private.
That's procedure again. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Let us go towards agriculture.
Yes, sir.
What do you think are the basic components of agriculture in India?
So may I please know the exact meaning of components, like what exactly do you mean by
It's upon
components?
you, whatsoever you may think of.
Sir, components can be backward and forward linkages in terms of agriculture. Then we have rain-fed mechanism, particularly in agriculture, lack of irrigation
I'm
facilities.
still going very simpler. Agriculture anywhere. What the agriculture is made up of?
Farming and allied activities in particular, sir.
Okay, what is farming? What are the components of farming?
So they would relate to sowing of the plant according to the season, and then irrigation facilities,
Where do you
infrastructure
sow the plant?
in the soil, sir.
So the first component will be a
It would be a
field.
soil. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
What other? The farmer himself. What else?
So the equipments or the machinery which
Machinery.
is present.
Okay.
Apart from that, the support given by government in terms of procurement system.
Later on, first the seed,
Yes, sir.
then for fertilizer,
Yes, sir.
irrigation, then you harvesting,
Yes, sir.
marketing and storage.
Storage. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. For the
Now, for each item, you tell me two constraints that the India is facing.
So,
Start from farmer.
So for farmers, the first situation is that they are debt-ridden because of availability of credit is not there, definitely via the formal sources. Second, disguised unemployment is also a major situation in agriculture.
So a farmer is not a pure farmer, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What next? Field.
Sir, the soil fertility is going down due to desertification.
Sizes are okay.
Yes, sir. The sizes also are an issue because we have fragmented land holdings, because of which the productivity is coming
next
down.
one.
The soil fertility, sir, is coming down.
Seed.
So for seed, we do not have seed banks in place, which can give better seed qualities. At the same time,
What do we understand by better seed quality?
sir, the farmers are using replacement seeds again and again, which is leading to decline in the quality of crops that are being produced. So they are
No,
not
but
getting.
we are giving them hybrid seeds. They are supposed to give them maximum quantity. Quality may be a debatable issue, but the quantity is going to be used. So where is the issue?
Sir, in hybrid seeds, the pest issue is still there. They are growing
For
resistance
that you are
against
giving
it.
them insecticides. Okay.
They're still having the resistance against that also, sir, building in the future.
So you will do R&D and find out some
Yes,
more
sir.
alternative. Correct. So now you have come for harvesting. Okay.
Yes,
Then
sir.
marketing. What is the issue in marketing?
Sir, in marketing, the procurement system is not well developed. We do not have cold chain storages and particularly road, electricity, infrastructure such like that to transport to the APMCs and
Now
mandis.
let's come to the two issues. First issue will be, you talked about the storage facility. Okay. So what is the problem? You identify that problem. Second thing is that marketing issue. Tell me about all this farmers agitation which is going on. what the issue like, very simpler terms, and then why only Punjab is suffering. No other part of the country is a party to that.
So the major issue relates to the procurement system, where the farmers think that the MSP regime is going to go away, and the mandis, that the trade areas that are being established, they will be used to restrict the monopoly of the mandis, and they will go away in the near future.
Do you think that after going through the act, do you think that is a realistic apprehension?
No, sir, it is not a realistic apprehension.
Then where is the crux of the problem lies?
So the crux of the problem is poor communication between the government and the farmers. They think that
No, government has passed an act. Everybody has read it. All over the country, farmers have read it and understood it. But then the problem exists only in Punjab.
So the problem is in Punjab because they are the major beneficiaries of this procurement system and APMC and MSP system.
Okay,
So that's why they are
How come
revolting
that is
against it.
happening?
I am sorry, sir. Can you please repeat that?
How come it is happening? How come they are the major beneficiaries?
So since they are the most developed farmers when it comes to agriculture,
They are farmers or they are procurers? They collect product from all over the country and bring and store it here. Is that the issue?
sir, in the Punjab region, the procurement system is well developed based on farmers and the mandis as well. So that's why they think that if the procurement system goes
What
away,
is the situation in Rajasthan?
sir, Rajasthan farmers are not that much against the law because the procurement system itself is not well developed in terms of mandis and the infrastructure.
So then what
the
happens
mandis.
to the produce?
Sir, we see a major food wastage in Rajasthan because of lack of warehouses and storage mechanisms and cold storage also.
It means that, as per your admission, it is only Punjab where the storage facilities are sufficiently well developed, and all over the country there is a problem of storage. There is complete wastage of the production. Do you agree with me?
So with all respect, I do not agree that Punjab is the only state where this is
No,
happening.
that was your statement only.
Sir, relatively, Punjab is the better state when we talk about all the Indian states. That's why the farmers are mostly from the Punjab state. So it's a
Okay.
relative comparison.
Sharma.
So you did IIM.
Yes,
In
sir.
my opinion, you are overqualified for Indian bureaucracy. Why? My impression is that what case study you did while in IIM? Can you remember some?
So there were case studies variously.
Or you were taught in that syllabus?
So there were various case studies in marketing and strategic management that we were taught.
Yes, yes. So can you recollect?
Sir, there was one case study where Apple Watch was being introduced, and
Apple?
Watch was being introduced at that time.
Okay.
And yes, sir.
Okay.
And the product viability and the financial viability of that product in the international market was being discussed.
Okay, good. Very, very useful. Second?
So second were related to leadership and motivation theories, particularly related to human resource management, where
Okay, human resource management, but the survey datas of any company, or
yes, sir.
which was the company?
Sir, it was a fictional company called Goldilocks. Goldilocks.
Generally, they don't have fictitious, they the practical case study. So which country it was?
Sir, it was a case study of US, but the disguised name was being given so as to just.
Doesn't matter. So now I'm just
Yes,
because I'm trying to I will learn something from you. And which other study was?
I'm sorry.
Any other study you recollect?
Sir, marketing management was also there in terms of segmentation, targeting, and positioning
And
of customers.
Which country it involved?
So that was in Europe.
Europe.
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is a global education. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
What is wrong with our IIMs? So now that's why I'm saying you are overqualified. The study you did, whether in engineering or in IIM, the more suited to HSBC Bank, European, instead of Indian bureaucracy. This is my What is your opinion?
Sir, with all respect, I would like to disagree at one point with you. Sir, during my work experience in HSBC, I realized the need for a career that will give me sufficient diverse areas where I can use my skills for nation building. And since
Okay, I'm also coming there because my experience has been our best brain from IIT, IIM, they join banks, Axis Bank, this bank. And I think within 1 year, you also did 1 year or 2 years?
1 year, sir.
So I think every year they are taking young people, making their use, whatever, and then situations are like that, then you automatically feel some sort of patriotism that you should do something for country rather than for that. Why they are not able to retain you? That is the retaining is also the management skill that we should, what we develop and what they are not able to retain.
Sir, to be very honest, I do not see a problem with retention here, but it is more of a personal thing for every person. But yes, there are some issues that...
Leave it. Now, you write Hindi story.
Yes, sir.
There are some young writers from IIT. Have you heard the name of Gaurav Solanki?
Sir, I have, but I do not recount his books actually.
Oh, now the one film, 2 films are also under way. So, have you got published also?
Yes, sir.
Where?
Sir, in Rajasthan Patrika.
Oh, Rajasthan Patrika. What was the, in brief, that motivated you to write that particular story?
Sir, my story was titled Kambal, which revolved around the 2 issues of old age people and corruption in the administration. And it was basically written because I have visited various old age homes in Jaipur and I felt compelled to write the story of such people.
So, how many stories have you written?
Sir, till now around 20.
20. So, so this was the one old age, very good.
Yes, sir.
Another issue?
COVID management, sir.
Okay, third?
Third was based on gender empowerment and gender discrimination.
No love story in this is? Or you are hiding from me? Oh, we all started with this.
Sir, actually, I'm an...
You can read my story, prempalsharma.com.
Thank you so much, sir.
So, no, just one more, sorry. Biography also.
Yes, sir.
So that hobbies part is equally. Your favorite biography?
Sir, my experiments with truth of Mahatma Gandhi.
I think we have interacted earlier. Oh, then I will not accept.
Sir, Anup sir bhi the aur aap bhi the.
Okay. Oh, then immediately.
Divyanshu.
Yes, sir.
Now let me take you back to Mahabharata.
Yes, sir.
Through management. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now tell me, very quick, huh? Don't take much time because we don't have much time. Management failures in Mahabharata. A. Rulers. Where did the rulers fail? In management. Now, I am talking about ethical management. Yes? Give me the instances of failures of rulers. Simple, if you read Mahabharata, at least give me one very good example where a ruler failed in management, ethical management.
Sir, in the Kurukshetra war, the Kauravas were...
But war was much later. The failure started much earlier. Failure led to war.
Yes, sir.
War was not failure in itself, but failure. But there were failures in war also. But that we can come later. Ruler failed. Tell me where.
Sir, Dhritarashtra's failure...
Dhritarashtra, why did he fail?
He was unable to let go of the love for his son Duryodhana.
So, too much of attachment to wrong principles and ideas.
Yes, sir.
Teacher failed.
Drona's attachment to Ashwathama.
Failed. Warrior failed.
Arjun's destiny to become the greatest archer and Eklavya's...
No. Eklavya is different. But a warrior failed for the same reason.
Sir, recognizing Karna when the competition was going on, because
That is more, oh yeah, that was a bit issue, but still, but who was the biggest warrior in Mahabharata?
Sir, Bhishma.
Bhishma.
Yes, sir.
He failed.
He failed to
Failed to
reconcile both the
take
Kauravas.
right decision.
Yes, sir.
So he got attached again to a wrong thing.
Yes, sir. Exactly.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
Divine failure. Where the divinity fails. No problem.
Sorry, sir.
Let's
Cannot
shift to
recall.
something else. Tell me, you mentioned nation building.
Yes, sir.
Very quickly, tell me, how do the banks play a role in nation building?
Sir, first is meeting social obligations via schemes like priority sector
Which means in
lending.
the social sector, the banks play a role in nation building. What else?
Second, economic growth.
Economic growth. So economic building, banks play a nation building role. What else?
Sir, employment generation.
Employment generation, which is economic related, but all right, I'll accept it. It's a social and economic both.
Yes, sir.
So they play a nation building role in building of economy, building of social
Yes, sir.
capacity. What else?
Sir,
Infrastructure building,
yes, sir. Thank you for the information.
institution building.
Yes, sir.
And you think by becoming a bureaucrat, you will be a greater nation builder than the banks?
Sir,
What nation building role exactly do we do? We pretend that we understand the whole thing. As a result, we guide things the way we think. But directly, what nation building role do we play as bureaucrats? We take orders from above and we push them below. We are just as a postman.
yes, sir.
Orders come from above and they are implemented by below. So where is the nation building role?
So there are two aspects where the nation building rule comes into place.
Yeah.
First, as you rightly mentioned, policy implementation happens in the lower part of the bureaucracy.
And it comes from formulation is above, implementation is below.
Yes, sir. But at the higher levels, we also see that the knowledge that is gained by bureaucrats, being a generalist service
Which
of,
means in the last 2 years of your career, you will probably play role of nation builder, right? That's not a big deal, yeah. Huh?
so the experience eventually
Okay,
grows.
We'll stop there. Good conversation.
Thank you, sir.
Divyanshu, tell me now, how do you feel?
Sir, it was a very good conversation, and maybe I should have answered the last question better, so I'll try to have an answer for that. But overall, I enjoyed the experience.
No, I think overall it was good. Any comment per se? But I think you did well, yes.
Thank you, sir.
You see, let me tell you, this question in agriculture, please. That question was a case study in your combining your analysis with your management. Yes?
Yes, sir.
But, you could have given a much better answer. I would not tell anybody else because you're so good. I expected, yeah, you couldn't break down the whole thing into components, and he gave you the hint, is a breakdown into components.
Yes, sir.
And then addressing each component scientifically. I think that is, I'm a little bit disheartened, because this question appeared to be very, on the margins, but probably this was the only question which tested your management and your analysis.
Yes, sir.
Yes?
I was also a little disappointed. Why? Tell me why.
So maybe my reasons did not appeal to you that much.
Which question you're talking about? Rajasthan or corruption?
Sir, corruption in particular.
Corruption was disappointed because repeatedly I find that people tend to identify corruption with government. That's the first thing. That means a unidirectional thinking. So think about that. Second thing is, I thought that because in management they also expose you to some economics and the relationship between the two and the affecting the society.
Yes, sir.
Why India has high corruption index? There's something to do with the economic situation. You just pick up, open 3 lists on the internet. Say first list of corrupt countries. The countries which are at the bottom of corruption would also be almost at the bottom in 2 other lists. 1, per capita.
Yes, sir.
And 2, the Oxfam list, the inequalities. Wherever these 2 things combine,
Yes,
corruption is bound to be
The
there.
Gini factor.
Yes, sir.
Bound to be there. So that's why I said reasons. You were started telling about the remedies and the effects. No, that is not. So you need to, for a person of your caliber, you need to listen to the question very carefully.
Yes,
Even
sir.
on the Rajasthan, you could have done better. Your answers were correct. Energy and all that you knew very well. But again, tourism is a seasonal thing.
Yes, sir.
In COVID, it is gone. Kabhi drought ho jayega, kabhi floods ho jayenge. It's a seasonal thing. It doesn't raise in per capita income on a consistent basis, very high. The same with minerals.
Yes, sir.
It raise your economy slightly. To be consistently better off economically, you need nothing except industry.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
happy that you didn't touch agriculture because agriculture cannot solve the problem.
Yes, sir.
But industry has to. That's why I gave you example of Gujarat, Karnataka. You
Sir,
have to bring in industry.
actually the minerals I talked about wo industry
Well,
se hi
that's why I
related
asked
hai.
again,
Yes, sir.
using it in your own industry here, then only it will, because value addition of minerals comes through the industry.
Through the industry.
If you sell the minerals, not much of a difference.
Yes, sir.
वहाँ तो demand supply की theory लगेगी सिर्फ, है
Yes,
ना?
sir.
So think of the industries.
Sure, sir.
Okay.
Thank you for the information, sir.
Great. Very well done.
Thank you, sir.
And please keep preparing. Preparation has no end, right? It's a permanent feature,
Yes, sir.
right? So last 2 years of career when we do nation building, right? Even there we can learn a bit. So good luck.
So just one follow-up question. Can you please tell me the divine failure?
See, now that is a very, very personal approach to looking at the problem. I can give you many examples, but I'll give you only one example. You see, the divine got attached. The divine was not supposed to take a decision in favor or against.
Yes, sir.
Here, the divine got attached. I have to defend Pandavas. There was no reason for divine to take that view. Divine is above this. No?
Sir, but
And
the
then
yes, sir.
divine saves life. Why did the divine took a decision that let everybody be destroyed because I want to recreate a new dharma-based system?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
After killing everyone, what kind of dharma-based system will you create? Is killing dharma?
Yes, sir.
Then
I
you just-
totally
no,
understand your
You
point.
kill everyone. And then you say, now dharma. तो फिर बचा ही कुछ नहीं, धर्म ही बचा.
Yes, sir.
इंसान तो बचा नहीं. ठीक है ना?
ठीक है,
All
sir.
the best. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you,
But
everyone.
there are many more examples, but I give you only one because that's the most fine.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much,
Yes.
sir.